Hello, and thank you for contacting Wave Support. I see from your clinical request you're struggling with this patient's vision in a single vision lens after refractive surgery. And as you probably know, with these patients who've had refractive surgery, quite often the rules go out the window because the corneas are so irregular. What I found in my own experience is that quite often I get some strange over-refractions, some strange distortions, some strange cylindrical effects that I just can't quite explain with basic optics because of these distorted corneas. But a couple observations I made looking at your designs. First thing I noticed is the true topographies. You got about 2 diopters of corneal cylinder here. And when I bring your design in, I suspect that when you launched Wave initially, you probably averaged the corneas out, and what you notice right here, this wave representation of the corneal topography shows that we only have about a 1/4 diopter of corneal cylinder represented in here. It looks very spherical indeed. So with this design, you end up with a very precise fitting lens using freeform on a very averaged out cornea. So I think you'll miss some corneal data. So in essence, it may be possible that your difficulty lies with a cylinder refraction. Wave may be interpreting this as a spherical cornea and creating more of a front toric lens for this cornea, thus creating some distorted vision and maybe a rotated cylindrical effect. So that would be my best observation. If you look at my design that I pulled up here, I did a quick redesign. I imported the data into Wave, but without averaging out the cylinder, and now I have a topography that shows about 2 diopters of corneal cylinder. And if we look at next to the actual Wave topography, you'll see that these are very similar looking designs, or very similar looking topographies. So in this essence, I would expect to get a little bit more accurate representation of the corneal effect on this lens fit, and that may help us get a little bit more precise over-refraction. Now, if you're pretty confident with your current design that you can hide that distorted vision with just the half diopter cylinder, that's certainly fine. I would go for it. I always like to keep changes as simple as possible. And it sounds like you have some time and lenses invested in this patient, so we don't want to get too complicated. But you can add the over-refraction, looks like you did here. I tend to prefer to add it in with the over-refraction tool here as opposed to adding it in with just the refraction, but either one in this case should work. But if you struggle with this design, I would probably go back, re-import the software or the data into the software, not averaging it out, and then go back at the redesign of the lens. Now, one tool I find very, very helpful if you're going to make a change like that, to try to cut remake time, I'd like to put a spherical lens on the eye of known power. Use the little tool down here. Go to Trial Lens Data and enter the base curve, the power, and my over-refraction over that. And that quite often gets me from point A to point B much more quickly, or at least helps cut out a couple of interim steps in there. So with that, I wish you well with this case. I know it's on paper, it's a pretty straightforward case, but sometimes these are the most challenging, especially these post-refractive patients. But good luck with that. I hope you have a great day, and thank you for contacting Wave Support.